your memory doesn't really open up until you start opening it up and reading it back. I've been catching the coffee shop where I go in the afternoon 1 hour a day lately. Just 1 hour and 15 minutes. I park, I get a green tea, and I just write out. And I was started on drugs. And it's hilarious. Like, there's nights I sit here with Lee and I torture Lee, but Lee knows I love him. Lee will call me the next day and say, I got so fucked up on that. And Lee will go, I don't know how you did it. And to this day, people cannot realize even I feel it. Like when people give me a pill that says kill them, it won't do nothing.
You're like, this is aspirin.
I did 2 pills about a year and a half ago. I went to do a podcast and the people were junkies and they had a bag of pills and they gave me like a pill and a half. And I am not going to sit here and lie to you. I got fucked up, but that's the day Yoel Romero came in.
Right.
And I had to do a podcast with Yoel. Then we had to go eat chicken, Cuban food. And I was surprised on how well I kept it together. It was a Percocet and a Vicodin combined and something else. I was high for 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
But from my experiences as a young man, I kept it together. And I started writing this thing for March 25th at the Comedy Store about addictions, my addiction. Throughout all this story, I haven't mentioned to you guys what at 14, if you would have come up to me and said, Joey, are you ever going to be interested in doing coke or whatever? I'd probably beat the fuck out of you. But at 14, at 13, I probably started smoking pot at 12 and a half. Let's just be safe. Let's just be safe and not lie to each other. 12 and a half, 13. Very subtly. Once a month. It went from once a month.
And is this floating through the bar or is this through school?
This is
or kids in the neighborhood?
This is the neighborhood, downtown.
All right.
We had a thing called the Woods, and we would roll 3 joints and smoke them in a glass pipe that you held on like a carburetor. You sucked on it, and then you let the thing go, and all the air would hit you.
Yeah.
And we would make them with toilet paper rolls. You could do the same thing with toilet paper rolls.
Like gravity hits.
With aluminum foil.
Yeah.
So we were doing all that. In those days, it was very hush-hush. It was me and 3 other kids. And
same age kids?
Yeah. We had the Visine, the Banaka.
The kit, yeah.
Yeah, and then we'd walk to this diner on Tunley Avenue that is non-existent. It was a real redneck trucker diner. And they had like the music on the wall. Like when you spin it and you play songs. And we'd go in there, listen to Margaritaville, and just fucking, then the waitress would come and she'd be like 40 and ugly. She smoked like 1,000 cigarettes and she was 3.
3.
Smoking since she was 3. And fucking we'd laugh at her. We'd just start laughing at her. And she'd give us the menus and say, I'll come back when you grow up. Like shit like that. It started like a fun thing, and then by the 8th grade, we were doing it in between classes sometimes. Like 3 of us would get together and smoke a joint, go back to class lit up, and start making noises in class and giggle and the whole thing. And then it was just a slow process. I knew that I just liked marijuana. Mm-hmm. I knew the dangers of cocaine. I knew the dangers of heroin. But then a friend of mine came to me one day and he goes, let's do it with acid. I was the Rolling Stones in the 8th grade. My 8th grade graduation, that was his present for me. He goes, I'm taking you to see the Stones. We got to take a hit of window pane acid. I'm like, oh, here we go. I go, how bad could it be? It was bad. But I went to the concert, and then I kind of liked acid. I liked where it took me. I liked that I could go home and listen to music. And I would pop acid, again, once a month for a while. Then it became twice a month. And then it became a thing that we would do 3 nights a week.
Damn!
We're tripping 3 nights
For how long? How many years?
For
a year? 2 years?
That's so crazy to me.
Shit! Half the week is on acid.
This is freshman year, about November,
Oh my god.
we were doing hits of acid.
3 a week?
3 a week.
And is it just one hit a night, or are you
One
doubling up on those hits?
No.
Okay.
One.
All right.
One would take you, if you did it at 6, you'd be cooking till 3. And I mean cooking. Like you could go home by yourself.
Somebody told me a story one time. Acid, shrooms, opium, things like that didn't come through our way until the Grateful Dead came to town. We would all go to the parking lot. We'd party at the Capitol Center back in the day where they did heavy metal parking lot. That's the Capitol Center. We're there for the Grateful Dead, and I didn't smoke or anything, but everybody I hung out with did, and I never minded that they did. I kind of enjoyed like seeing what happened. I'd be like, okay, well, I'm not going to do cocaine. Well, I'm not going to do fucking pills. I'm not. But one of our friends, somebody told me this. I hope this is fucking true, but I guess he had bought a sheet of acid, put it in his pocket to take back with us later that night, and it rained. And the rain washed the fucking acid into his skin, into his. And they said he had to take him to the hospital. Everything. Can that really happen? Come on, that shit can seep in. I guess it could, right? It's just acid.
I know that I was clean and sober. Okay, I was clean and sober. They threatened me with fucking going back to prison and finishing my sentence. And one day I get a call that I tested positive for cocaine. And I go, I don't snort the cocaine. I just sell it. And I told that to a friend of mine. He goes, are you retarded? He goes, every time you touch those rocks, that stuff goes through your skin. Sure, you're going to test positive. One time I tested positive. I wasn't even doing it. It was from touching it. So, yes, I do believe that story. Especially back then, the acid was thicker.
I never fucked it. Look, you gave me shrooms.
If I eat
you just gave me shrooms at Comedy Store at the last. Okay,
how was it?
They were good.
They were good, yeah.
I had them. I had some that night, and then I still have what you gave me to take home with me.
Fuck, I got a bag at the house.
But I'll tell you this. So when I first moved out here, because I've only done shrooms like 5 times, and at one point I enjoyed it. But also, I'm the guy that's like, all right, it's been 5 hours. Get the fuck out of here. You know, I'm like that with company. You know what I mean? All right, it's, hit it. We had a good time. Get the fuck out of here. I don't need still be hearing my music going wah, 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 wah after 5 fucking hours, I get it. But back when I first lived here, this was in the 1900s, man. This was 97, bro. Late 1900s, 1997. I first moved here to go to college. And that was the whole Northridge quake. I was coming here to go to Northridge when the quake hit and destroyed the school. So I ended up going anyway, but I found an apartment for a month, then moved in February, and Pink Floyd is coming out to the Rose Bowl. And I love Pink Floyd, and I want to go see Pink Floyd, and I want to see him at the fucking Rose Bowl. So my buddy and I get tickets, and he tells me, a married couple that he knows is going to meet us there and sit with us as well. I was like, great. So the 4 of us are hanging out. We're all smoking weed. And the 3 of them decide to do shrooms. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm just going to smoke weed and drink. Get into the show. The show is fucking bananas. I don't know if you've ever seen Pink. I got to see him here and in D.C. at RFK when that was still there. Same summer. And the pigs are fucking bouncing. They're all tripping over there on their shrooms and shit. And I look to my left, and you've been in a Rose Bowl. You're packed in there, And I look back to my right, and my friend Kevin, he's gone. He's gone. And and people start yelling and shit. And I look back. This motherfucker passed out, okay? And it's those bleacher seats. So when he went back, his feet got hooked under the back of the front one. And he bent in half, and people, instead of catching him, they got scared and they jumped out of the way. His head hits the bleachers behind him. He goes into a full-on seizure. Okay, he's going crazy. His eyes, and they're like, "Is he epileptic?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know. I have no idea."
Were you tripping?
No, I only smoked weed and drank. But the 3 of them, they're all to my right. It's him and then the married couple. She sees it. And I think guilt got to her and everything because she's the one that gave him the shrooms. She starts throwing up in her like $50 concert shirt. they're all having a bad trip because he's having a full on fucking seizure. I've never seen this on mushrooms, okay? And I don't know if it's the shrooms or the fact that he hit his head so goddamn hard on this thing, but I don't know what to do. And I look up at her and she's like, oh my God, it's coming for me next. You know that mindset where you're like, oh. And I just start smacking him as hard as I can in the fucking face.
Jesus.
I'm smacking the shit out of him. Pink Floyd, the pigs are fucking going. Oh, I just lost my headphones. Sorry. And they're banging and banging and banging. And he's having a seizure. And then finally he snaps out of it. And everybody's like, holy shit. I'm like, dude, are you all right? He's like, did I just pass out? I'm like, yeah. I go, how long do you think you were out? He's like, I don't know. It felt like three minutes. He's like, I was like, you're out for about 15 seconds. I was like, dude, but you had a fucking seizure. You're bleeding. He's like, I'm not bleeding. I'm like, are you all right? He's like, yeah. Look over at her. They're out. They're gone. We never saw them again. We go back to fucking Pink Floyd, and he's fine the rest of the night.
Where do you meet these weak people? I went to a million concerts. We ate everything but heroin balls, and nobody ever fucking fainted.
That's what I'm saying. You ever?
Yeah, no. If that happened in my neighborhood, you'd have to move the next day. Like, you have to pick up and move. Like, dog, I took fucking Lee to a concert, and I gave him a couple mushrooms.
Fucking had a seizure.
Dog, I used to fucking take straight up acid and go to those garden concerts.
I don't know how you did that
I
shit.
took acid to the Stones. I took acid to Ted Nugent and AC/DC. I took acid. I didn't take acid to Black Sabbath. I was too young. But I took acid to all those.
You ever smoke weed dipped in PCP? Sherm or
no? Well, this is what I was getting to.
Okay.
All right. So I'm 16.
I'm laughing at the age.
15 to 16.
Yeah.
I'm going in that transition, and I'm doing microdot acid. That's what it was called. It wasn't really.
That was those little like one hit tabs.
I mean, tiny. You would lose it. You had to wrap it in aluminum foil to see them, and then you had to take it out of the aluminum foil, and if it fell on the floor, you were done. Sometimes it was purple, sometimes it was pink, sometimes it was brown, but it was the size of a minuscule. That was the most popular acid. It was 50-50. It was basically rat poison. You did it, it was strychnine based.
Okay.
You'd be grinding your teeth and looking around. Tremendous. But you went for fucking 8 to 12 hours.
That's a commitment.
I mean,
hard, huh? Yeah.
Now you're like, ooh, thank God that's gone.
I have anxiety hearing
You
it.
said that I give you another bong. Do another bong and wake it up. And then you said the sunset. And you're like, oh, thank God I could go home now. And you go home and you drink milk and you go up to your room and you lay down. All of a sudden the posters start moving again. It was that type of shit. Like, it just did not
go
away. And then...
See, all this is not a sales point to
That's
me.
what I'm saying. This is what everyone's ever told me, though.
Great.
Yeah.
It was just great. And then,
It's just great.
the one I did to the Stones, honestly, that was the first time I had done that drug. And I wrote about this. It was like a 3-day recovery. Like, for 3 days,
It just
I had
zapped you like
bells
that.
and whistles and electronic shocks going through my spine. And I was just a young kid, and I was like, I think I got to stop this shit. Like, I really do. Like, I had only done it once, but then it was just too much fun. It was the drug of the era. It was the drug of the summer.
Like, how many, I want to tell you, the Carlin bit where he talks about acid, right? It's like self-regulating. At some point, it'll say, stop, you were done.
No. So,
But how many hits would you say you've had?
so then let's just say that let's just do it by freshman year.
Jesus
Freshman
Christ.
year was when we really started cooking with gas with the acid.
That's 3 a week.
We would 3 a week. And then something new came along. People were saying, you got to snort this shit. Now, I had always made a promise to myself that I would never snort nothing. But they were like, it's just THC stems. It's stems, and people boil them, and they shut the thing off, and the white powder that sticks on the side, they scrape that off, and that's what you're snorting. It's harmless. And I saw, and I had 18 friends, but there was always 4 that were like kind of smart, and they were the ones like, I want to do it. I'm like, you sure? So after weeks of trying, I said, let me do a line of that THC crystal.
The Keef? Like that keef that's on the crystals on the weed?
It was white.
And you're snort. I've never heard this one. This is brand new to me right now.
It's snorting. And we would do it. First I did it, and then I gave it a break. I went back to acid.
But what kind of high is it? Like, what do you feel?
Like fucking Gumby. And fucking like you're about, like everything is just fucking flashing at you.
Is it a different high than an acid trip? It is.
Eventually, I kept doing it and doing it. So it got to the point where my mother would go to the track on Sundays, and I knew she was going to be on all day. And me and this kid, Carlos Perez, would buy a $10 package of it, and we'd each get a 6-pack of Lowenbrow.
I remember Lowenbrow, the lion. Isn't that like a lion? Yeah, tonight is kind of special.
Kind of special. The beer will pour. Must say something more, but how? Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Sponsor the church, Lowenbrow.
Lowenbrow. So fucking, we would get Lowenbrows and get fucked up and then go on journeys. We just walk and talk shit. When I get old, I want to be a doctor. And we'd just be like, cars would almost hit us. Like, beep, what the fuck? No way, that type of shit. Like, we would be fucked up. And then I found out it was actually angel dust.
You motherfucker!
So,
I said I had never heard
somebody told
in
me,
my life the mind boiling some stem.
Yeah, I didn't know. So
What's
now
angel dust?
Angel dust is like Gorilla
PCP,
Biscuits,
yeah.
PCP, animal tranquilizers, and they turn them into a powder, and you fucking snort them.
Jesus Christ,
And you
so
go
casual.
for 8 hours.
And then I found out it was
You go
angel
for
dust.
8 hours. Like I tried, and I didn't want to know. And I didn't want to fucking know. So we used to play either or. We used to play a game either or. Either we do acid or we do THC crystals.
Wait, THC crystals, you're calling it.
So that's what it was called until one day somebody said, "Stupid, wake up. You're snorting animal tranquilizers."
How long had you been doing it, would you say, before you actually found out what
About
it really was?
3.5 months. And I remember sitting there going, it doesn't surprise me.
Crystal.
You get fucked up.
You know what? So can you explain this? You're like, all right.
I suckered for it. I've been over here. I would have been over here snorting it with you. I'd have been like, it's a THC. They said. Who said? The drug dealer said that.
I mean, it was an 8 hour. I remember one time I smoked it with a pregnant chick.
What?
I was like, I'm in the morning. In 1983, they would sell it in Harlem, and you could smoke it. And it was called the tray. It was $3. It was a tray, and it was basically enough powder to sprinkle a joint with, and you could smoke it. And that was maybe December, January, February of '84. No, of '83. Maybe December of '82. It was cold out. And I remember getting high with her at maybe 10:30 in the morning and being on a bus at 9 o'clock on Kennedy Boulevard, dropping me off on the corner and crossing the street to the bar going, wow, thank God I'm fine. I finally got it together. Like I walked in and I was still a little Gumby dust. Because then it was just called Gumby dust. It was like animal tranquilizer.
Yeah.
So I wanted to tear that shit. Me and my buddies were tearing that stuff up. That's why today, like I said before, I don't know what day I'm going to go on stage, shit in my hand, and take it out and throw it at the audience, because one of these days, one of these cylinders are going to snap.
Yeah.
And the real Joey Diaz is going to come out. Dementia's definitely in my future.